remember that weird mermaids documentary? We're gonna get into that and so much more. So sit back, relax, pour yourself some coffee, because we are gonna be looking back at some Animal Planet controversies that you may or may not remember. Welcome back to Girl Meets Wild, Wild Chats, and today we're going to be touching on some pretty taboo topics. Episodes, mockumentaries, and moments that got this beloved wildlife channel in just a touch of trouble. Of course we're going to talk about mermaids, because how could we not? So let's start there. Mermaids, officially known as Mermaids the Body Found, was a sci-fi / TV drama that was originally presented in 2012 as a legit groundbreaking documentary. This film caused a splash. Pun fully intended. Partly because the animation was groundbreaking for the time. I thought it was phenomenal, so you probably did too. Anywho, the other reason why it exploded was because of the claims that it made. Indistinguishable from a real documentary, scientists were interviewed one-on-one, revealed that a humanoid marine species, aka a mermaid, had been seen washed up on a beach in Washington State. Honestly, that's probably one of the least weird things to happen in Washington State. I mean, I love Washington State, but I feel like a mermaid washing up on the beach is like a typical day there, honestly, probably a slow day. Not only did they deceive us, aka the audience, into believing that the facts they presented were actually real, but they explicitly stated that the US government was instrumental in covering it up. Needless to say, this did not fly for very long at all. Mass anxiety ensued amongst viewers all over the world who truly believed what they just watched was a real scientific disclosure. There was so much confusion that the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Association, also known as NOAA, had to put out an official statement saying that the claims made in the documentary were false. The scientists interviewed were actually actors, and the footage that we all saw was completely fake. If you look back, you'll see that there's a tiny little note at the bottom of the title screen saying that this was meant to be taken as fiction, but the negligence was simply too great to let it pass. Now that we've got that one out of the way, let's talk Turtle Man. Oh, Turtle Man. Ernie Brown Jr., famously known as Turtle Man, had a show called Call of the Wild Man, which aired on Animal Planet starting in 2011. Questionable methods and less than present teeth were only the beginning of the issues with Ernie and this show as a whole. In 2014, Mother Jones accused Ernie of staging captures for the cameras, specifically for having bats hidden in a hair salon and an opossum in a fraternity house, both for him to rescue. This wasn't the only situation brought to light. There was a follow-up report that stated that the crew illegally transported a healthy coyote across state lines in order to replace one that was too sick to appear good on camera. The public reacted swiftly, demanding the show be canceled, and Animal Planet listened. In 2017, Turtle Man quietly yeeted his very last yee on the network. Remember Eaten Alive? That documentary that followed a guy attempting to be, well, eaten alive by an anaconda for research, I guess? Paul Rizzoli was his name, and no, he was not eaten on television. Claiming that this was to raise awareness about habitat destruction, he created a custom carbon fiber suit that was supposedly going to protect him from the jaws and coils of the snake. This one got under my skin particularly badly because anyone who knows snakes knows that this was never gonna happen. But it doesn't matter because Paul famously backed out when things got real. The anaconda bit, wrapped, and squeezed, bringing his exposed arm almost to the brink of snapping. He tapped immediately, causing backlash from viewers who claimed false advertising. Not to mention animal rights groups like PETA who immediately got involved. Finally, there was Shark Week shenanigans. I know what you're thinking, what could possibly go wrong during Shark Week, right? It's like the week where everything goes right, that's the whole point of Shark Week. Well, because Animal Planet shared resources and strategies with their parent company Discovery, their controversies carried over too, including the massive Shark Week fiasco that took place during the 2010s. Essentially, real scientists were interviewed for what they thought was factual, educational styled shows, when in reality, their clips were edited and used for sensationalized myth-based specials such as Megalodon, the monster shark lives. audience. They were livid. And honestly, I would be too if I thought that my interview was going towards some kind of scientific documentary and I found out that it's really just like a Steven Spielberg knockoff. Their names and opinions floating around being plugged into whatever it is the network saw fit. The outcome was a public boycott by marine biologists of the networks all over the country. And if you make animal content, the last thing that you want are scientists against you. Why didn't you guys tell me my hair was doing something weird? It's like not even. Anyway, their message was clear. We don't want to be associated with clickbait and fear-mongering. Amen to that. Let's just say Discovery has been much more careful in recent years. Well, I think we covered them all. Do you know of any wildlife TV controversies that you think deserve a deep dive? Let me know because I would love to yap about them. And if you like this episode, you should check out the Wild Chats before this where we busted myths about snakes. That one was truly something, let me tell you what. Anyway, thank you for joining me and I hope to see you in a couple weeks. Bye!